Good morning and welcome to Today at the Races at Laurel Park. Tim Tulloch joined by Keith Fustel. Keith, we're going to get right into this card today. A bit of a tricky card.
Yes.
For sure.
Yes.
We'll get to the weather and the conditions here in a
All
second.
right.
But the theme of the day on today's card is dropping, getting off the main track, and on the turf. And we'll see that in a bunch of races today, which made the card a little tricky at times.
Absolutely. You've got to sift through some of these changes, adjust on the fly. This time of year, horses making those changes of surface is really tough. And the drops are always a question mark.
Yep.
You kind of got to research a little bit, do your homework as to what barns actually, have success doing that. Some are really good, some not so good. So it's all part of the challenge that we endure day in and day out. But the one thing you've got to like is the price is still going, but havable prices here. On these racing cards. You saw yesterday 5 double-digit payouts, for the winners. We had some big prices. Early pick 5 again, $3,400. Late pick 5, $12,000. So they're not impossible. We'll talk later in the card about Bobby G, who's a horse kind of that loves Laurel. Yeah, he was off time, but he took a lot of early money in that race, but just drifted up. But that's what I like. We're getting races that are competitive. If you do enough work, you can dig out a good price horse.
Sure, no doubt about that. As we move, let's look outside.
Yeah.
Right outside. It was a little chilly this morning.
It was.
But it's going to be a beautiful day. It's going to be clear all day, 46 degrees out there right now. Horses love this kind of weather. Track's fast. We're on the turf. Turf rated good as it's been all week.
Holding up well, Tim.
Yeah, it really is.
Real well.
It really is. So we'll get to that. We only have one race on the grass today, but the dirt races are highly competitive and some are a little tricky. Race 1 kicks off the early pick 5. I did put together a ticket for the early pick 5, and I struggled with it. I really did struggle with it. I could have gone deeper in a couple of these races, but in the opener, I used 3 of them, the 4, 6, and the 9. Race 2, I go 1, 4, 5. Race 3, which is one of the races I want to spend a little time on. It's a main special weight going a mile for 2-year-olds. Very interesting race. 4 deep there. 1, 2, 5, 6. I single on a 12-to-1 shot on. Yep, I'm
Love
singling.
it.
I'm going hard or going home. this one, Practically Dizzy. By Claudio Gonzalez, for Claudio Gonzalez, finally dropping back into what I think is the right spot. Now there's a 2 for 16,000, and then in race 5, 3 deep there, 3, 6, and 9. Race 1. $54 ticket there. Race 1, fillies and mares 3-year-old and up, which have not won 3 races, or straight 3-year-old fillies going a mile. Keith, you have the 2, Me, Cleopatra, and I on top. Rudy Sanchez-Solomon, Louis Garcia. First off the claim for Rudy. He's very, very tough. Steps up and stretches.
Tricky little opener with some speed involved. Mavelis likes to be towards the front. That one's going to be part of the pace flow. I think until now you've got a horse coming in from Charlestown via Churchill. Got some pretty good speed as well. So you've got 2 aggressive riders, too, in the X-Man and Acosta going out there. I think the pace is going to be honest. I think Mavelis is the stayer of the speeds. Wouldn't surprise me if she won. But my Cleopatra and I liked the effort last time. Dropped, got in a little trouble out of the gate, was used wide early, and was able to sustain at the 7/8. Tougher group here, but moved away well. The only other time on a main track, mile 70, and a little excuse there. I think this horse can draft into good position to bring a finish for the extra furlong.
And this horse was in very, very good form midsummer. I mean, this is a filly who won 3 in a row at Monmouth Park, so no doubt I like that one a bit too. I have the 4, Marvelous, on top. 4-time. She's won 4 times. She's eligible because she's a 3-year-old filly. She's been in very, very good form. She got a little late in that last race, but still a good effort, and there's good efforts up and down her form. The question I have about Marvelous is she a little bit better going 2 turns where it just settles down a little bit.
Yeah, she might be, but against this field, I think she works today. I think the mile is going to be just fine. I don't even think she necessarily needs to lead. I think she can sit just off of that Charlestown horse if needed, and then kind of battle on from there. Held pretty well last time out at the mile distance. Yeah, let's go. And talking about our top 2 selections, 6-time winner in the 2-horse.
Yep.
4-time winner, Mavelis, taking advantage of this condition. The 3-year-olds that got those wins.
The 6, who you're going to call for Claudio Gonzalez, might be able to sit a trip if there's enough speed up ahead, and certainly has some races that could fit here in the opener. Okay. Race 2 kicks off the early pick 4. This now is a 2 lifetime 10,000. Keith, you did an early pick 4 ticket. Wow, who blew us all out yesterday? Don't call me Fruzzy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't Cross Fuzzy
Don't Cross
for the
Fuzzy.
Haynes brothers. That was good. I
Yeah.
think named after their late dad, Fuzzy, so that was good. I remember him at Pimlico back in the day. So those guys kind of grew up around each other to track gambling at a young age. It was good. So that was sentimental win. Good one right to the front and lasted late. So, yeah, 1-4 here to get you started in the early pick four. It's a $24 ticket. Sheriff Chip and Super Emperor. Race 3, I see it as you kind of spreading along. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 8. Might as well hit the all button there if you can. Don't see the 4, but this is a good race. We're going to talk about it a little bit more in depth. Race 4, 2 deep with the 8 and the 10, and here we come to another doozy. Wish I could go a little bit further. This is a good starter. I think it's going to pay, so you got to spread a little bit more maybe if you can the 5th. I'm going to start with the 3 and the 6. They're my first 2 must-uses in race number 5. $24 once again for that early pick 4 ticket.
Oh, good. Clearly, race 3 is a tricky race. I went 4 deep.
Mm-hmm.
You go 6 deep there, 5 deep there. So 6 deep. So that's a tricky race.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that in a minute. Race 2, mile 16, 3-year-olds up, not 1-2, claiming price $10,000. We're going to start with the 1 Sheriff Chip for Kevin Gomez. David Howard is the trainer. Third off a break with a pretty good effort in his last start.
I thought the race was good. I mean, sat there, finally runs 3 races in a row, was able to kind of use that inside post to his advantage, I think, is the stayer of the group here today. Super Emperor on a little bit of a drop is quick, but might be involved some with maybe the 3 and the 6 early. Might take a little starch out of the late kick from Super Emperor, but I'm kind of leaning on this one horse, Sheriff Chip.
Yeah, I like the 1 also. Great draw. Down toward the fence, has a speed to be well positioned, if not in front when they get to the first turn. Yeah, Super Emperor taking a drop. Good races back at Timonium earlier this year. A little interested in the 5. We both do on Strolled On By.
Yeah.
Just the kind of horse that just kind of grinds away, being dragged to decent numbers, but getting back on the main track today, I don't think it's horrible for him.
Yeah, no, I think he's going to need some serious help up front. The race is going to kind of have to maybe fall apart and let him kind of strolling up to him. But, yeah, Paulping's a horse. I didn't get to Paulping. Talked to Dave Robin before the show. He kind of gives it to a little shot here for Susan Cooney. No stranger to win at a price. First time Lasix on the dirt. I missed that angle. Might be a little bit of a wake-up. I'll use underneath in the exactas. I'm going to key around Sheriff Chip.
Don't blame you. Race 3. This is one of the races, one of the 4 races I really want to key in on today.
Okay.
Race 3, maiden special weight going a mile. We've already touched on it. We're going to start with your top pick, the 6. And I went back and forth. I really like this horse getting on the main track today off a good turf debut.
Yeah.
Joe, who you did have on top.
Yeah,
Yes, you do.
I do have on top. Turf to dirt, second career start. It's about a 30% hit there. Not a huge sample over the last 2 years, but a good one and a positive one for Trombetta. Looking to breeding half to a kind of horse that was an 8-time winner. More so a synthetic specialist, but there's some other dirt there. I mean, this horse breeding-wise should be able to handle it. 2 work since, stretching out here. Joe, slight edge. Not a love, but a definite use. I think you're going to sneak away at an okay price that you really should demand again. I've got 2 to 1 on off course. Maybe that's about right for the favorite. I'd like a little bit more value here in this third race.
Yeah, I like Joe. I mean, by declaration of war, who did most of his running in Europe and on the grass, but he got beat 2 noses in the Breeders' Cup Classic, if you recall. The mare was a 2-time winner, 1 time on dirt, 1 time on synthetic.
Yeah.
So I think the transfer, and working well on the main track here at Laurel. I have the 1 Caminero on top for Mike Trombetta. We have a video from his last race, his first debut race on October 22nd, where things just didn't get started as well as you'd like.
No, 4 horse. That might have been another Trombetta. Takes a right-hand turn out of the gate and says, "Oh, oops!" A little bumping, a little jostling going on, and Pimentel's got to go ahead and take a little bit of a hold and get this horse to get back focused, settled. And does. The horse does regroup. And I think all in all, gets a pretty good run out of it the last, 3/16 of a mile, quarter of a mile. But things did set up front. There was some speed. It was a contested pace, 22 and 3, 46 and 1, 11. This is a race where Ophelia Del Rey came battle back. That was a motion horse. And I think we had that horse that day with the blinkers on at a square price. But watch, Caminero, a light, steady kind of in behind a horse there into the stretch. You see that. it's just a little bit of a laying in, Tim. That was the
Yes.
only thing through the final eighth of a mile, but continued well. And I did like on the gallop out, went past. So that was key as well. Just didn't get up to these runners in kind of flat.
Right.
Yeah.
He didn't use them
Right
hard to get up in position.
Right.
But he had to use them a little bit. Took a little starch out for the end. Probably getting a little tired with that getting in. But I'm going to stay on him this afternoon. The 2 off course, 2-1 on the line, stretching out for the first time for Jeremiah O'Dwyer. He's good with these types, 22%. Strong figures.
Yeah.
The strong figure that he ran in debut. Is he going to be able to stretch okay?
I think this horse will be all right. You look at the breeding bottom side. The other horses were never close as siblings. This one clearly the best of the lot so far. That race, good enough for me. American Playboy, Bustum Kurt, they had run fast enough. I think that field might have been a touch better, maybe, than that maiden special weight field when you really break it down. But stat for O'Dwyer, a little stat here I've got. He's 9 for 9 in the money with 2-year-olds going sprint to route, second out. So a horse that you can kind of use confidently, I guess, in your exactas and tries.
For sure. We both have interest in the 5, the Thunder, a first-timer for Grand Motion. Javion Toledo gets the call. Working well up there Fair Hill with a very steady work tab. Out of a mare who is grade stakes placed. The second dam was won in debut, or second race. So she was favored in the matron. She pulled up bad that day and never ran again, but she was a bit of a serious racehorse.
Yeah, the sibling showed some speed in California, topped out at a 76. And, I've been a little tough on Graham with these 2-year-old firsters on the main track. But going long, first out, 2 for 10, 5 for 10 in the money with our ROI. That's a positive ROI. It's over $2. But anyhow, looking back to that and breaking it down, looking at the works and everything. Script. Remember Script the other day that that ran huge, got in a lot of trouble. Script, the Thunder, and Swore. It looks like a lot of these horses have kind of worked together in the mornings, and the Thunder's possibly got the better of these rivals a couple times. Interesting look here. Blame's certainly bred to handle a route of ground. So wouldn't surprise me if this horse gives a good showing based on how Script ran the other day.
Yeah, I originally had him on top and then kept looking at it. So I'm going to give him a lot of credit here, in today's third race. A nice maiden special weight going a mile.
Real quick on the bottom horse as well. Another motion horse. Maybe not on the dirt today. We'll see. But this horse is a half, to a killer on the turf. Silent Poet made almost, $875,000. It looks like great stakes winner. Won her down the road. Keep an eye on this, see how it runs. And I'm thinking maybe turf down in Florida. Follow this horse down south if it heads south.
Sure.
Yep.
No doubt about it.
We'll see.
Interesting race in race 3 as we move to race 4, which kicks off the Rainbow Pick 6. Callie Francois put together a ticket. This is how she plays it. In race 4, she goes 2 deep using the 8 and the 11, 2 horses that I like in that race also. Race 5, 9, and 10. In race 6, she goes 1, 4, 7. Race 7, 1, 4, 9. Race 8, spreads there. Why not? That's a tough heat. 2, 3, 7, and 12. 5, 7 in the nightcap. $57.60 ticket on the Rainbow Pick 6 getting kicked off right here in race 4. Race 4 going 5.5 furlongs, 4 9-winners, 2 lifetime, claiming price $16,000. We're going to start to the outside. Your top pick in here, Keith, Digital Dream for Damon Dilladovico. And we've got a stat on Damon before we talk about this one.
Yeah, he always asks me for a stat. And I said, well, I'll give you a stat when it's a positive stat. So we found one. Last 3 years, 8 for 30, 27%. Dirt sprints, third after this kind of layoff, 6,200-day layoff. ROI 234. And how about this for Damon? The last month on the dirt at Laurel, he's 6 for 15. It's 40%. For all you, the math guys out there. 12 for 15 in the money. Barn doing quite well right now. Digital Dream did not like the turf. Didn't run at all.
No.
Last time out. Comes back. It's got a couple works under her belt. There is some speed to set things up. I think Karamanos will be able to kind of draft in, save some ground, because the horse to his outside, Danessa Bay, she should be forward. Definitely Bourbon Wildcat Easy.
Sure.
Final Rose doesn't have a lot. I think she's going to get good mid-turn.
No doubt about it. And broke her maiden for 16, third off a little bit of break. Obviously didn't handle the turf. This is a great spot for her. I didn't get to her, and maybe I should have, but we'll find out here in a little bit. I do have the 5 on top. This is my single on my early pick
Yeah.
5, practically dizzy for Claudio Gonzalez. I know it's a pretty brave single, but I just think she's got. Look, she broke her maiden for maiden 25. She came back and she ran a couple good races against tougher, and she's gone the other way. Now she gets back to the now. Where's a 2 for 16? Where does a maiden 25 maiden breaker really belong?
Right.
To 2 for 16, unless you were cheating a little bit and
Yes.
ran a little bit better and they go the other way.
Nobody
And it's
does
not
that,
even
right.
cheating. It's just you have an unexposed horse, make it easy for them first time out, and then they move forward. I don't think that's the case, and clearly not the case with Practically Dizzy. Gets into a good spot today. It works sense for Claudio Gonzalez.
Yeah, and should, Tim, slip through the cracks a little bit just because of those last 2 lines, dirtied things up for her. And you've got a horse like Danessa Baby, who's just been absolutely throttled at the windows at Delaware. Bet every time. The last 3 starts really hammered down. Major excuse. Do we have a video?
Yeah, we do.
Here we do of that
Right
last
here.
race when she was 70 cents to the dollar. Just sideswiped right out of the gate, and both sides, and really didn't have much of a chance after that. I mean, it's probably spotted a field 6-7 lengths right off the get-go.
She came to a halt.
Yeah, and for horses at Delaware to make up that kind of ground. But I thought the effort all in all pretty good. A little sweeping move up there, circling 4 and 5 wide on her correct lead past the 8th pole and finishes up okay. Now, Laughing Place ran here. The winner came back, ran here recently, made a little early move, I think going a mile and faded. And a horse like Bourbon Wildcat got the better of that rival, too, in a race earlier at Laurel. So we'll see. Prior buyer numbers at 67 to 65, they kind of stick out. Aggressive move here off the claim, right back for the 16. With a horse with that kind of trouble and those kind of glaring figs, that's what's got me a little worried here with Danessa Baby.
Yeah, but it's Mikey Gorm, 30% off the claim. And Mikey plays the game to win, Old Coach Farm. That's basically him. So, you come back, you try to get the win.
Yeah.
And so that with Mike, it doesn't scare me that much. This is a move he'd probably make if the horse was running back in 20 days.
I like it. So, and that's why, he holds a good percentage of that. He is very good at spotting his horses, especially off the claim. He has a ton of success at Delaware. Even here, I've got the last 3 years in Maryland, he's like almost 20% first off the claim with the dirt runners and the claim riders. So, that works. Bourbon Wildcat, I think, is going to be strong, too. Like the way this horse had handled adversity 2 races back, had to check and steady, then took the rated pretty kindly behind horses to just misrun a big race. So, turf to dirt angle here. Bourbon Wildcat's a user for Fair Sound, who's having a pretty good run here of late.
Starting to heat up. It was a little cool for a while, but certainly starting to heat up as we move to race 5. Race 5 kicks off the late pick 5. But before that, we're going to take a little break. Welcome back to Today at the Races. I just had that little news come over the wire here. Non-horse related.
That's all right. Football related.
Little football related.
Yeah, that's okay.
But race 5 kicks off the late pick 5. This is a maiden 10 going a mile and a 16th. We're going to start with Icy Harbor, the 3. Both you and I have this one on top. For Dove Houghton, Victor Rosales gets the call, dropping second off of a break, adding blinkers. Gets back to the main track. Here's keeping with that theme. Here we go.
This race 5.
It's a head scratch.
I got it up here. I wrote this a few days ago doing the morning line. No clue. and that's just, to be honest, no clue. Icy Harbor, second off of a break, stretching out, looking at the breeding, what blinkers going on. Bottom side, the mare did win long on the turf. Second dam was good. Deck game could win long dirt or turf. I'm just taking a flyer here. You got an inside post with the blinkers on. There you go. In the 6th, Theodora. I can't give you a whole lot here.
No, I can't either. And, I never dreamed I'd have a Baltimore Bob on top on the main track at virtually
Look
any
at this,
level.
and her first 3 are the same. I just looked at, oh, my gosh.
Just the same. But we'll see how this shakes out. The 9, home by 7, a little interesting. But again, getting back to the main track, and it might work. It might not.
Yeah, she's hit the board, 4 seconds in 13
Yep.
tries. Looks to be a user. Theodore, I looked at the breeding. I was trying to find much. Kitten's Joy are okay on the dirt to 12, 13%, but everything else was kind of European breed down on the bottom side, so that was tough. Tua stayed for lesser at a big price, then failed. I don't know if you can really depend on that one. So,
Right.
All right, Dove Houghton.
All right, Dove,
Come on,
it's
Dove.
all on you, Dove.
Yes.
In today's 5th race. 6th race, a first-level allowance race going a mile for 2-year-olds. This is a nice race. Also here you have the 5 Advanced Scholar on top. The Scholars. This is a horse I didn't get to. For Dale Capuano. Georgia Ruiz gets the call coming out of the Maryland Million Nursery. Soundly beaten there, but before that, this is a gelding that was in really, really good form.
Yeah, I really liked the race. 2 races back, did ride the better part of the racetrack, handled some pressure, then drew off nicely. They didn't go super fast early, but in the Maryland Million, and we're going to show you a video in a second of Shady Money, the bigger field, they go quick. It's a mad scramble trying to get position. I think sometimes in those races, the horses lose focus and they just go flat. Now we got the Shady Money race, so we're going to show you that as well. Thanks, guys. And Shady Money, who's a 7-horse today, was the 4-horse in the Maryland Million, really kind of got bumped around pretty good out of the gate in that big field. Even a little bit of a squeeze right there for Shady Money. But this one actually kept on trying. You see the short comment. Bumped 3 to 4 wide and pretty redundant if you're paying attention to the show. If you're kind of watching the show, we know the Maryland Million Day, it was definitely hedging towards the inside.
Yeah,
it was the better part of the
doubt.
racetrack. And Shady Money ends up circling 1, 2, 3, 4, almost 5, 6 wide by the time they hit the top of the stretch. So, yeah, good effort after the early trouble. Looking at the breeding, yeah, it's there. Second dam could carry that speed long. Topped out at a 78 at a mile. Also hit like mid-80s sprinting. So there's some speed. Some horse that can run some good numbers in the family. Shady Money with a better beginning will be a stayer. I believe along with Advanced Scholars. I'm going to take the 2 horses, key around these 2 in my exactas, top and bottom with a couple other horses.
I got Figaro Del Rey on top for Grand Motion. I just thought that was a really, really good race. Nice race. Going 7/8 of a mile, where he came back on and clearly stretching out a mile shouldn't be an issue.
Really, really game in that race, and talked about the breeding. I think it's just the killer, right? The bottom side. I'm at Chatterbox and don't have all the facts there, but we gave them out on that race last time out. Hope you were with us at a big price. So, yeah, Achilles heel draws inside. We'll have to break clean to stay with it. Got a good trip up there at Saratoga against State Brads. Go second time for Brad Cox. It's tough to leave those horses
You
out.
can't leave them out, right?
That race, I tried to find something out of it. Produced a turf winner. I don't know if it's quite as strong as a couple of these other horses' races that they come out of, that they exit. So, but looking at the progression, the horse looks like he's moving certainly in the right direction. Tough to leave out a Brad Cox runner.
Sure. And this horse, New York bred maiden special weight, not particularly tough on any day, even at Saratoga. This is a big step up, I think.
Okay.
But you got to use them.
All right.
You can't not use them. That's the 6th race. Race 7, another first-level allowance race. And this one, fillies and mares, 3-year-old up, going 5.5 furlongs. Going to start with the 1, Marvella Nasty. As your top pick, Keith, for Anthony Ferrer, Javier Toledo. Stepping up to the A other than, but this one's in really, really good form. We're going to take a look at a race from November 5th.
Yeah, yet another barn change, right? She's been popular there at the claim box, claim a couple of races back, October 15th. Kieran wins right off the claim, but man, she's just razor sharp right now. Got position, showing a little bit more speed in her races. Save ground this particular day on the 5th, just eased out and says, okay, I got you here. Stay out. See you later. Top of the stretch really kicks off nicely. You see it eagerly is the short comment. When we use that, it's a visual thing. And this filly was running the final 3/16 of a mile. You know this, Tim. Open 12.5. Heck, an open nickel, open 75. You can step into this condition and get it done.
We saw it the other day with Just Wave and Smile coming out of the 12.5 to the A other than on the turf. And, if you can win an open 10 and open 12.5, you could usually take down an A other than Marvella Nasty. I have the 10 on top to the outside. That is Calypso Ghost. His horses have been very, very good to me lately. You have him in her in your exacta. I loved what she did in her last race. I loved she showed the ability from the outside to just lay off in the clear and come with a run. I think there's enough speed signed on here that it could set up for her again, and she lays close. Now she's going to have to, figures are going to have to get better. She's going to run a little bit better, but doing this is a filly who's in really, really good form.
Really good form. And you said it. You look at the internals last time, 23 and 447. They're going to be going much quicker than that here at the 5.5. So she's going to have to be used, I think, a little bit more to stay in position. But she's been gritty. She's been grinding it out. She can stay the trip in here. I think the one has a definite advantage from a late punch standpoint if she just holds consistent. And Farrier, a little quick stat on him. He's been 31% off the claim with winners last time out with an ROI of 330, so that works in your favor there. But yeah, I think she stays around. I think Dave Robin likes the 4. I talked to him about this race as well. I like the 4 American Bastet. The blinkers went on, came out of a pretty good field up at Parks. Really aggressive. This horse had sharp speed last time. Will get into the race in the 5.5. This horse can run fast and stay around.
I'm concerned. American Pharaoh out of the D Wildcat mare. I think the track with moisture certainly made her a little bit better. She's going to have to come back and run that same type of race on a fast main track, and we'll see if she can. But that was a good-looking effort, and no doubt they are in a couple good works since that last race, race 7, a nice first-level allowance race. Race 8, we go to the grass course, 2 other than 4 3-year-olds and upward, and we're going to start with the 2 English Tavern, your top pick, and we have a video from October 10th, and we're going to pick this up just outside the 3/8 bowl.
Yeah, English Tavern has gotten in very good form, and the numbers just keep progressing in the right way. Had a little trouble, though. Got a little trouble coming to the quarter pole. Watch this, the 10 horse that day just kind of bottled up behind, 4 runners there and loses a lot of momentum from the 3/8 to the quarter pole. Was able to find a seam and work between horses here at the 3/16. Quite game on the close to kind of handle this traffic. Never really gets in the clear here, Tim, until about the final 70 yards. Kicks on and gets the place over. You Must Chill. Winner just too good that day. But Mandate, you're thinking, okay, was clearly beaten. Mandate was a big price that day. Came back to win a stakes in New York recently with a 94 buyer at a big price of 44-1. So handling the right competition. The only thing that worries me a little bit with English Tavern is this turf that over the last couple days, we want to be a little closer. So he's got I'm hoping he can get that pole and get within maybe 3 lengths at least by the quarter pole and bring that run from there. But, yeah, certainly rooting Jerry Romans, Gorey Smith down there, my boys from Ellery Trials. Hopefully the Ellery Trials will be back in 2022, I would think. But English Tavern, like what he's doing right now.
With that said, I do have the 12 Mystical Man on the top. Jack Fisher looking first time 2 out of the van. Big race over a yielding course in his last start. This will be 3rd off of a layoff. But my concern with Mystical Man is the same as your concern with English Tavern. On these good courses, you've got to be laying pretty close. Everyone's going the same speed from the top of the stretch to the wire, so it's hard to be a deep closer, which made me get a lot of interest in Gentleman Joe getting on the turf for the first time in a long time. 3rd off a break for a hammy, winner of 2 in a row, 1 at this level going a mile and 1/8. That was off the turf race. We stayed together with 8 horses, comes back with a good number. But his running style suits the way the course has been playing all week. So I'm going to give I've got him in my exact right there.
He owes me no money, Tim. He's been great. They've kind of really got into him in the morning. He's responded with 2 straight wins. He's the higher price of the Hammy Smith runners. We always like that kind of angle. And you've got a rider in a costume that will have him into the race, definitely by the 3/8 pole moving from there. That gives me a little hope about this race with English Tavern and Mystical Man maybe closing from a little bit further back. Is Papal Law on his normal days going longer? He likes to be forward. Gentleman Joe, I think, will be forward. You got a couple horses coming off of 5.5s, that might press it. So that might play a role in kind of enhancing the chances of my top 2 horses here, the 2 and the 12.
The 4, Zarkalani. First time here at Laurel Park, was entered. It came off the turf. Christophe Clement still had the horse. It was a late scratch that particular day. Okay, the first race at Belmont and came back and had a little bit of trouble on September 25th, but has run well on courses with give over in France.
And you're kind of looking, you sometimes say they were drugged to numbers. Now, granted, he's only got 2 races here of recent, well, one off a big break, but 85, 86, well, that works. But like you say, maybe he was helped by the company line. So
sure.
This might be a little drop in class.
Yeah, and it might be a little drop in class. And, beating a length and a half, length and a quarter in that debut race in North America, that was a pretty decent race. As we move to the nightcap here at Laurel Park. Now there's 2 for 10,000 going 3/4 of a mile for fillies and mares. And, Keith, you end up on the 1 Suzette Star. Why not? I've got her in the mix. This will be second off of a layoff. She had some good form earlier this year here at Laurel and up at Pimlico.
And I'm just taking a little swing here. Doesn't like the off track. Not going to get it today. Going to get a fast track with some very questionable speed types in the nightcap. So she a little bit better maybe at 5.5 on the main track or even on the turf, possibly. But this race might just develop and fall into her lap. I'm looking for that kind of get-out horse. I think Suzette Star would be the one if you're scrambling for a price late in the day.
Probably gets a good setup from my top pick, Salamina, for Jeremiah Dwyer, who went to the front in her last going 3/4 of a mile and kind of folded that particular day. But that was the first time she'd been on the main track since earlier this year, so I'm hoping for some improvement, dropping to the 2 for 10. There's a lot of big difference between the 2 for 16 and 2 for 10, I'm still hoping behind the next out winner in long distance love. That wraps up the 9-race card here this afternoon on today at the races. But we're going to move to lightning round and right now, and boy, we sure saw some sparks yesterday as we got started. And there we go. Well, how about Bobby G yesterday? He's the 3-horse, not quite in the picture. There he is, just coming in the picture now, under Richard Monterey. Slipped away at big odds. This was not an easy race, but this is a gelding picks up his 16th lifetime win and does it pretty nicely.
And a lot of the reason for the high price, off time for one.
Sure.
Mohan, the barn, doesn't attract a lot of attention, don't run a lot of horses, right? Was an owner, now I guess a trainer. And but he's a horse that's run big races over this course, big enough figures that warranted, some respect in that field. He took play. He was like 5-6 to 1 up until about 3 minutes to post, maybe 4 minutes to post, and he steadily rose up. I had him lined at 50. I'm like, man, I'm going to be made to look like a fool again. But he ended up going off at 19, paying 41.40. Big effort for that guy. 16 wins, tremendous.
So anytime you get a horse like that, they know what they're doing. Good looking win there, and not an easy heat. In the co-feature yesterday, we saw a couple of young men take down this race with what's that horse's name?
Double Fireball.
Double Fireball, and a good-looking ride there on the rail from Bryson Butterfly. And this is a horse just yesterday who laid right off the pace all the way there.
Yeah, it was pretty keen. And you're thinking, well, Double Fireball is usually a horse that wants to get up and he battles for the lead and fades a little bit late. He was keen, and he was had to even almost steady a little bit behind horses, but got the seam. Big effort from Naomi's top pick there. That was the Merriman runner, Beckon, at a big price. Hopefully you were along for the ride for her pick. But, take Double Fireball. Best effort by far. Sat there, and I'm sure they might have enjoyed a Double Fireball after that win, huh? You think?
No doubt. No doubt. $59 that one paid? Over 50.
Yeah, $50.40.
$50.40. It was good to see. Anthony Jr. is a young guy. Bryson's a young guy. I don't think they equal 40 if you add their ages together. So it's good to see some young guys come in because they're the future of the game.
Need them. Absolutely.
We need them. Absolutely need them. So congratulations to Aguari and Bryson Butterfly. Next week, this is we're going to pound this and pound this and pound this, but why not? Thanksgiving Day, this next Thursday, first race post, 11:25. Come out, get your pie, get everything you need here, Keith.
Absolutely. The pie giveaway, that's later in the day, I'm sure, but donuts, coffee, cider, and hot chocolate to get you started. Again, a special post time, Thanksgiving Day, 11:25 a.m., 11:25 a.m. Remember the pie giveaway, it's with a program purchase while supplies last, so get here early, get your little coupon that you need. Trade it off for that pie, and solid every year. Going to have a big crowd here on Thanksgiving Day.
And we also have the Thanksgiving Day buffet. Just go to laurelpark.com/Thanksgiving for more information. But that's just the beginning of a big weekend. We roll into Friday, a big card on Friday where we have 2 Maryland bred stakes on Friday afternoon's card, the Politely Stakes, 4 fillies and mares, and the Howard and Sandra Bender Memorial Stakes for 3-year-olds and up, going 7 furlongs for Maryland bred. And we roll into Sunday with 3 big $100,000 stakes, 2 of them for the juveniles, the fillies and the boys, City of Laurel. For the boys, the Safely Kept for the girls, and then, of course, the Richard W. Small Stakes, 3-year-olds and up, going 1 1/8. And I'm just so happy. We have a stake named after Dickie Small.
Oh, absolutely.
Who was so part of the
my
match
gosh.
series also. So.
Yeah.
It was just a tremendous guy, tremendous horseman, and some of the best stories I've ever heard in my
I
life.
can imagine. And there's
Some of
been
the best.
great stories. I think Vinny wrote a big story way back then.
Yes.
If you can find it, Vinny Perron, right? One of the best writers you could even find for covering racing for a long time. But yeah, if you get a chance, Mid-Atlantic Thoroughbred, Maryland Horseback.
It was. It was hanging around the press box for a while. It was up there.
Yeah,
'cause
research
I read it.
Yeah, might find it. Phenomenal stuff.
Really, really good stuff. So we're looking forward to a big day here at Laurel Park, but a really big week next week. So hope you join us next week. Hope you join us this afternoon. That's going to do it for us. Dave Rodman up next with Scratches and Changes.
All right, good luck.